will offer an opportunity for the party to look into itself and offer Ugandans what they need as far as being opposition is concerned. Now,
so when do we come back?
We are receiving reports that there is a fire at the Entebbe International Airport.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
All right, we're fast approaching the top of the hour. Let's now get into our Take Note discussion on road safety campaign along the Northern Corridor. I have a guest with me who will be giving us all information we need to know about this latest campaign that aims to ensure that those that are using the transit routes right from Mombasa to Kampala to Kigali, South Sudan and other areas within the region are actually doing it in a safe way. The Northern Corridor is the busiest transport route in the region, linking economies of Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan and the Eastern DRC. Numerous studies show that road traffic crashes along the Northern Corridor constitute a significant loss of lives, and according to the Global Status Report on Road Safety that came out in 2018, fatalities reached 100,000 per population for member states. Uganda shares 29% of that incidence. With me in the studio is the Executive Secretary of the Northern Corridor Transit and Transportation Coordination Authority, Omae Nyarandi. A warm welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I hope I got that right. Omae
Nyarandi.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here this morning.
Yes, you're most welcome. First and foremost, take us through what this particular campaign is about and what the Northern Corridor is.
Northern Corridor, as we have rightly said, is the multimodal transport that connects the port of Mombasa to the respective member countries, which you have said rightly, Uganda, South Sudan, DRC, Burundi and Rwanda. Uganda plays a pivotal role because it's in the middle of these countries.
Yeah.
And all goods and movement of cargo has to pass through Uganda before it goes to these respective countries.
Okay.
The corridor, Northern Corridor Transport was by an agreement of these 6 member countries in 1985. So the member countries, all the 6 member countries signed a treaty that they will ensure smooth movement of cargo in their respective countries.
Okay.
And we coordinate the same.
When you talk about smooth movement of cargo in this particular transit route, I think it comes home to the fact that a lot of goods are driven on the road, especially between Mombasa, Kampala, Kigali, and now Juba and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Safety for the truckers is very important. The truckers are notorious. We know them sometimes as notorious individuals who don't want to be overtaken, might want to be aggressive, but the other aspect that is pretty natural is fatigue.
Yes.
Yeah, they drive very heavy vehicles and for long distances.
Yes.
In addressing the safety on road, how about the welfare of those individuals to ensure that aspects including where they can sleep over are taken care of? You know how you're doing it. Just tell us how it's rolling out.
Thank you. Safety of drivers is very important. If you recall, even during COVID-19, drivers were recognized as essential service providers.
That is right.
While others were locked in their homes, the drivers were busy on the road, risking their lives. And therefore, it's important that we recognize them. As in Northern Corridor, we've been running a lot of initiatives. One of the initiatives is to have roadside stations. Stations along the corridor where the drivers can have the well-deserved rest.
That's right.
Apart from that, they have to have awareness. And even the employers have to be aware about the safety. Because most of the employers could have taken loans to buy those trucks. And obviously they want returns. They'll be happy to make many runs and return trips. But it's important that we drive safely, take a rest and reach destination. But we also need to take care of the people who are road users, the pedestrians, all along the corridor. So we have also done a study on black spots along the corridor, where most accidents happen.
Yeah.
And we have mapped all those black spots along the corridor. we have come up with the management guidelines, how to manage them. And we are working closely with the road agencies. In Kenya, we have Kenya National Highways Authority. In Uganda here, we have UNRA. But not forgetting that we need also to, we are also working with the actual ministries where policies are made, so that we have uniform policies along within these member states to ensure that there is smooth flow of this cargo.
Okay. Has the controversial and critical aspect of load been taken care of? Some truckers overload, and then we've understood that some use axles that are beyond or less, depending on what exactly they are trying to achieve. What are the guidelines in place for that?
Since 2014, starting from Kenya, using the East African Load Control also Act, we ran awareness and ensured compliance where there is the owners themselves take into account that they need to comply. In running that awareness between Kenya and Uganda, in Kenya we have like 97–98% compliance on vehicle load. And because now we have an act and very punitive, when you overload, there is somehow compliance. But we also need to have uniform way bridges. In Kenya we have way in motion where vehicles just pass without really stopping, and only those that are overloaded are directed to the way bridge. We've had discussions with the ministries, like here in Ministry of Public Works and Transport, to ensure that we have similar duplicated in Uganda.
That's right.
And you saw recently the president of Kenya, around 1.5 months ago, told stakeholders at the port of Mombasa that there should be only one weighing in Mombasa, and that should be recognized all the way to the Malaba or Busia border, so that we don't have multiple weighing.
That is right.
Yes, which causes delays.
Okay.
But we are ensuring that we work with all stakeholders to be aware about loading and how they damage our roads, and so that people are able to have self-regulation.
Okay, within the auspices of the East African community, the Democratic Republic of Congo has just come on board. And although trade and movement of cargo to the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo occurred well before the dispensation of the East African community, transport to Democratic Republic of Congo was a bit of a problem. Yes. I don't know whether this has been resolved in the best way possible, or the challenges are still there for us. If they are, what are they, and how are they being addressed within the workings of the authority? DRC forms an important stakeholder to the Northern Corridor Transport Network. And it's true that if you look at the, let's say, 10 trucks that are found overloaded, you'll find DRC becomes the main culprit. We are glad that now they have joined the East African community and will be able to comply with the Act, which is the East African Act. Okay. But that is long in coming. We've done awareness. We've been in Goma, DRC, and conducted drivers training. We are also going to conduct drivers training in Burundi. All talk about safety and the loading. Once the driver is given information, it becomes easier to even reject cargo that is overloaded. That's right. But we are also going to target cargo owners to discuss about that, so that they are also in the picture. Okay. Slowly, we think, by coming to the East African community, slowly by slowly, we think that it's going to work. All right, we are out of time, but allow me ask you a question that I believe you could be conversant with. The standard gauge railway in Kenya, it was built to, is it Kisumu?
Naivasha.
Naivasha. And it was widely touted to solve the problem of, well, truckers staying on the road and competing for space with other road users. Yes. How is the traffic in that particular section of the standard gauge railway? In
year 2022, the Kenyan cargo originating from Mombasa was around 24 million tons from the port of Mombasa. The railway carried 6 million tons, slightly over 6 million tons. I could say it is working. And because of that, we have had meetings, high-level meetings, the Northern Corridor. We have facilitated high-level meetings between the two governments. The two ministers of transport have met.
Yeah, in fact, 2 months ago, I saw Mr. Kipchumba.
Yes, Mr. Kipchumba was here, and they, even in Mombasa, they did meet.
That's
Before that, we had technical meetings between the technical people of the railway. We have agreed on a joint mobilization of funds so that we can take the railway from Naivasha to Malaba and eventually to the hinterland in Uganda. Because in terms of even greenhouse gas emission, in terms of safety, the railway is the way to go.
A lot of reduction.
And we need to encourage that usage of railway. But railway might not be able to take 100%, even 50% of cargo. So we still need to take care of our roads. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Omae Nyarandi, for the perspective on the latest developments in the campaign to ensure that movement of cargo from Mombasa into the hinterland of the East African region is achieved and is seamless. Many thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And that will do it for this edition of Morning at NTV. It's been a pleasure having your company as always. Updates on the situation in Entebbe, of course, following the outbreak of a fire there, will be coming your way later. Our man Ivan K. Walinyolo is on it and verifying all the information that needs to be verified. NTV at 1 shall be at hand, but of course later NTV Akaongezi as well as NTV Tonight. I'm Chris Higenyi. Have yourselves a lovely day. I'll see you tomorrow.